After learning that he went to Pagoda Mountain where many bandits live, he starts crying even more. Imagining that his master is being beaten by criminals, he runs desperately. Now in the middle of the frozen forest, it was raining heavily. The survivors of that village were running while searching for the nearest village. Someone was hidden behind a tree. This person was the guide who brought Hyun to this place and now was pointing the way to the village for them. The woman thanks the man's kindness. The old man asks if she saw a young man covered in bandages around. Of course, the man was talking about her savior, and she knew he had sacrificed himself staying behind with several mountain bandits. Now near a waterfall, the guards were furious because they couldn't find the loose-skinned man. When suddenly one of the bandits points to the waterfall, there was a man coming out of it saying he almost drowned to death. People didn't understand how this guy came out of the middle of the waterfall. The man, on the other hand, says they saved him time, since he was going to look for the bandits anyway. But the bandits had no idea who this man in front of them was now. Elegantly removing the hair from his eyes, he asks if the bandits weren't looking for him, but the men have no idea who he is, because Han's appearance has completely changed. I don't even know if I can continue calling him the loose-skinned man. Hyun at this moment orders them to take off their clothes and hand them over, as he is cold. As the bandits don't want to do that, he immediately kicks one of them in the head with great force, a force that knocks out his opponent with a single kick without even using mana. Everyone was impressed and trembling with fear, but Hyun was complaining that now his new clothes were very dirty, so he will need more clothes. He says this while looking at the guys shivering, knowing they will soon be without clothes. Finally, we have a decent and handsome protagonist. Next, they were all in their underwear and shivering. Hyun was feeling the weight of his new weapon. Suddenly, with a cold look on his face, he decided to test it. The men shivering didn't even realize what was about to happen. Then a head was removed from its body with great ease. Laughing at the situation, Hyun asks if they will just stand there waiting for their end. The men start begging for mercy, but Hyun just says he doesn't want to. He had promised to cut off everyone's heads. They all ran in terror, but now it was too late. They were all headless for this situation. Finally, the hunt had begun. Everyone under the mountain was subdued that day. No one escaped from Hyun's clutches. He even noticed that his new clothes were dirty again, so he decided to go to the riverbank to clean himself up, but was astonished to look at the reflection in the river. The loose-skinned man was now the male Barbie. At that moment, he realized that it was thanks to the ginseng virgin. For this reason, the bandits didn't recognize him. He was happy and embarrassed to have such a beautiful face. With this face, he doesn't even seem adopted, as he is as beautiful as his sister. But he is soon startled by screams. The noise came from the top of the mountain. At that spot, the old guide was being tortured by the bandits. All the survivors were captured again during a process. The guide didn't intend to give information about the loose-skinned man and was about to be whipped again. However, the man's attention was drawn to one of the other bandits. They were wondering why there was a man standing in the snow staring at them. At that moment, Hyun made a strange gesture while crouching in the snow. The bandits start to wonder if the man is scooping snow with his hand. Maybe he wants to play, but his throwing strength is like a bomb. He quickly knocks out several bandits just with snowballs. Anyone who dares to oppose him, he deals with them with lightning speed. The bandits could barely see him climbing up there. Then he came down, exploding everything. Those who didn't fall in this attack were soon decimated by the Moon Destroyer blow. Only one survived all this chaos. Hyun was asking if the man was afraid of him, but people couldn't even recognize him now. The old guy began to cough and groan due to the pain. Remembering the man's kindness and guiding him through the mountain, he became furious, asking if they did this. The young man started lying, saying it wasn't him, but with just a spear movement, the man had already been split in two. The survivors were begging for mercy from Hyun, but he wasn't there to hurt them, but to help the man who had shown him great kindness. The guide soon realized who was in front of him. Hyun tells the man to go back to the village. Realizing the man couldn't even speak, he began to infuse spiritual energy into his body and slowly burn to cauterize the wounds. It's not the best treatment, but it's what he could do at this moment. Hyun asks if anyone can carry the guide, then orders them to go towards the village without looking back, and so they do. At this moment, Hyun swears by the heavens that he will bring divine wrath upon the mountain bandits. The guards at the gate of the bandit village were wondering why it was lightning on a sunny day in the middle of winter. Suddenly, one of them was decapitated at a speed at which he didn't even realize he had died. The other was killed in the same blow. Hyun fills his lungs with air and shouts loudly for the bald man to come out of wherever he is and come to battle. He will have no mercy on any of these beasts. His intention is to cut and destroy anything that stands in his way. He slices the bandits as if cutting a loaf of bread to spread butter. Today Hyun will eliminate this entire clan from the earth. He quickly cuts down several bandits at once, and with great ease, anyone who sees this scene could do nothing but tremble in fear, because soon their turn would also come. Suddenly Hyun was almost hit by an arrow. The bald man's gang had arrived. But this is what our protagonist was waiting for. At this moment, he has to be more skillful than before. It's the right time. The familiar voice of the wild butler is heard. He brought men here to destroy the dragon clan's camp. The guards attack the bandits. The vassal's movements are not bad either. After all, he is a fighter. The bald leader calls his subordinates to fight. They are not afraid to fight, but the bald man decides to flee. How can he let this worm escape so easily? Incredulous that his pursuer is so persistent, he doesn't even recognize Hen's new look after plastic surgery. But when he sees the middle finger raise, the bald man remembers everything and becomes even more terrified. Now he is completely terrified. How is it possible that, in one night, he becomes so strong? He now sees Hen's immense power. He is truly a martial arts master. The only option is to kneel and beg for mercy. If Hen wants any woman, food, or even gold, the bald man says he can provide. But when others ask for mercy, is it given to them? Hyun is punishing him today on behalf of the heavens, so he did what he came here to do. At this moment, the vassal appears, asking if he is okay, but he does not recognize the person in front of him as his young master. So he asked about Hyun, his young master, saying that his family is really a bunch of idiots and that the young master is as insolent as his father. He also talks about the young master's ugly appearance and his personality. He even says that not long ago he ate like an ox. Hyun at this moment was thinking of killing his vassal. After finding out that he is the young master, he completely changes his mind, saying that during the time they haven't seen each other, the young master has become very handsome. Then he says they need to go back or the patriarch will end up killing him. But Hyun hasn't finished dealing with the Chaos Master, so the vassal retrieves a divine whip he used when he was an inspector. Of course, Hyun doesn't intend to cooperate, so he tries to run, but is tied up by the butler. He is dragged back, on the way tries to strike the vassal who defends himself. This power of the young master surprises everyone. In just a few months, the young master has become so strong that he is having advantages against a former inspector. Hitting his defense, he makes the man be dragged back a few meters, but he is soon surprised by an attack from behind. The vassals cannot disobey the patriarch's order. The battle was about to reach its climax. Everyone was taking it very seriously. At this moment, the old guide arrives. He thanks Hyun for saving their lives and informs that the prisoners escaped safely. They are very grateful to him this time. He saved many people. While Hyun was distracted saying goodbye to the old guide, the vassal ties him up without him noticing and takes him away while he screams wildly. Then he is knocked out by the vassal to be carried more easily. The vassal also asks not to spread about the young master's deeds around. They should take advantage that he used a false name because a nail that stands out gets hammered, and that will attract evil people to Hyun. Sometime later we are shown the inside of the cave. The ginseng virgin is no longer there. The chaos servant was at the location looking for the item. He was so furious that the ginseng was stolen that he almost unintentionally killed all his vassals. So he ordered them to bring the thief to him as soon as possible and to kill all his relatives. He lost the item and now he's mad. Finders keepers, losers weepers. When Hyun finally woke up, he realized that he missed the chance to find the chaos servant in the ginseng cave. But when the second creature called the Millennium Snail appears, another opportunity will arise. Now they arrive at the city of Hefei. This was a gigantic and very charming city. Trade was very different from his hometown. There were also attractions for tourists. When Hyun got off the carriage, he realized that he was now in front of the Emperor's gate. When he tried to pass, he was stopped by the guards, but then someone ordered them to lower their weapons. This was ordered by his father, who was waiting for them there. Noticing his father's concern, he decided to reciprocate the affection the old man gives him so much, but he is ignored as he was not recognized. His father begins to beat the vassal, saying that he dared to lie in the letter. He says this because Hyun was supposed to be with the vassal, until the man being beaten says that the guy next to him is his dear son. He even takes a look at him, but goes back to beating the vassal, asking how can that handsome guy there be his son. Hyun then calls the old man father. The man recognizes the voice and asks if he is really his dear son. He still can't believe what he sees. The news quickly reached Namgung Castle. The squadron captain reports that it was told to the public that the old man's vassal who solved the problems, but in fact, it was Hyun himself alone who exterminated the entire clan. This leaves old Namgung impressed and interested, but still he asks if the captain's eyes were not deceiving him. The captain also says that to bring Hyun back, everyone had to work together to contain the boy's forces. Soon the patriarch of the family intervenes, saying that his son is very skeptical. Hyun is the future heir of a gigantic clan and was also born with martial arts, besides having lost weight and become a handsome young man in the process. To summarize what his son is doing now, it is to ignore the facts and believe in the rumors of the world. That's why he's skeptical. So the patriarch says that he will personally take care of marriage matters from now on. At this moment, we are already in a meeting between the patriarchs. Of course, Shinan is in the middle since he is the target of negotiations. Hyun's father says that he must take the martial arts exams, but Patriarch Namgong intervenes saying that this type of training, regardless of how talented he is, will only be able to become a general. Hyun's father asks what he proposes then. The old man says that if he trains martial arts with a good master, he will surpass a general and even become a leader who saves the country and makes history. Hearing the phrase, "save the country," makes Hyun more excited. The amazed boy's father asks if there really is such a good master out there. Namgong says that they won't even need to look for one. He himself intends to teach the boy, a retired patriarch of the Namgong clan, the king's sword named Namgong Changshan. If you enjoyed the video, leave your like and don't forget to subscribe here. Until next time, bye-bye.